Just for the sake of putting up this YouTube clip, I don't even put up a YouTube clip on this, but just to put up a Insta IGTV, I do an entire recording on video. And for that, I have to set up lights, and I have to set up, not that many lights, just put on the switch. And I have to set up the angle because you don't want to see any of this. And I don't know why you don't see any of this. It's the world, bro. It's the world outside. But just for that one clip, I mean, when I do the guests, when I do the guests, the guests are being done. When I interview the guests, I do the Zoom call, so that obviously covers video. But and the size, it's like fucking 1.5 GB, and I have to transfer it. And just because of a clip, I don't know, do you have any solutions, my friends? Do you have any solutions where I can, the solo one, I really rather just do an audio recording. And I know this conversation is happening back and forth with myself on multiple episodes, but I'm trying to come to a decisive conclusion on what to do about this. And then I looked at cameras, the lighting's not okay, why is the lighting? A lot of internal dialogue. So should I do it or not? Anyhow, welcome back to another episode. This is the SoapyRao show, which is, of course, I'm very glad to say thank you to all of you. It's being featured as the top comedy podcast on Hangama. Hangama, have you heard of Hangama? It's a great international Hangama. Hangama, I like the name Hangama. You hang them up there, you hang them out there, you hang them right around here. And Castbox. Yeah, it's just a great thing to be featured in the top comedy, so I better get the fucking humor along, yeah? Because I don't want people saying, hey, top comedy podcast, and I'm just like, but I feel very sad when I think of. But as I said in the last episode, it's everything and anything that goes on this podcast, including humor, is a part of everything, and everything's a part of humor. So that's how I look at it. If you're new to the podcast, there's my perspective, and a lot more of this is what you'll hear on episodes to come. I interview people. We do things like find out about themselves, find out who they are, and let them. So imagine someone comes, they're like, fucking, I came as a guest on the podcast, but now I'm leaving knowing more about myself and who I am and where I'm going. Yeah, because I feel boxing in, not Castbox, but boxing in things into too many tight, defined, structured ways of presenting yourself limits your potential as a human being and as a potential creature of creativity. Yeah, I had a pretty long weekend, guys. It was Thursday. So as I told you, I haven't told you. Let me tell you this. I started hitting golf balls. Yeah, started playing golf when I was 14 in Bangalore. And I could, my sight, that was around 96. So I could see a little more then. And it was fun, because my mom said, it sounds like I'm a brat. But no, the point is I used to play, I love sports, and I loved sports growing up, and I couldn't do a lot of the sports after a certain age because they were moving balls and involved people, which, could potentially end up me hurting myself. So tennis, cricket, and I loved running and jumping in school, running and athletics, track and field. But golf was one of those things which was not very popular back then in the 90s in India. So the course was first of all empty. So I could go alone, get a student membership and play. And of course, I loved the idea of doing that. But about 6-7 years back, my sight has dropped quite drastically since then. So I stopped doing it because the course was more crowded. I couldn't see the ball as well. Actually, I never saw the ball well, but I could manage somehow adapt my swing to, using my peripheral vision, spotting the ball, and then while hitting, my head was at an angle. If you guys are listening, I'm tilting my head. So the periphery would catch the ball and I would whack it, and it was okay. Not a great golfer, but I loved doing it. Like I enjoyed it. But because of this fact that even walking on the course has become difficult because I don't want to fall into a which would be hilarious for everyone, into a water hazard, and they make me a free drop. They're like, oh, Sundeep, you're a penalty drop. And so I stopped doing it, but there's this great organization in Bangalore run by Shanti and Dipesh. And if you've heard my Life Gone Wrong series, you probably would have heard the interview with Shanti Raghavan, who, along with her husband and the team at Enable India, which is their organization, are doing some fucking fantastic work for inclusion, especially in the workforce, showing how hiring people with disabilities is a profitable, not just a charitable thing. So they're great people. And Dipesh, who's Shanti's husband, who's also the founder, one of the co-founders along with of Enable India, brought to my notice the idea of blind golf and how it's an international format recognized by the Professional Golf Association, and how he wants to bring that to India. And he asked me, would you like to be a part of it in taking it forward and making it a thing? And I said, fucking why not? It would be great. And the rules are very similar to golf. It's just that there are 3-4 accommodations they make. Like, for instance, you have a guide slash coach slash caddy. If that same person can do all 3 things, nothing like it. And that person sort of obviously helps you walk on the course with navigation. They also help you with club placement, giving you the direction you have to hit in, because you don't want to hit in the wrong direction and hit back where you came from, which is not helpful, which of course no blind person is going to do because they have a good sense of spatial awareness. But they help you place the club, and depending on your sight, or lack of rather, the exceptions increase, so that they'll help you even place the club. And then I think there's certain things on the green, like I think the flag has a beeper. So I haven't really fully informed myself with the rules, but there's some certain things. So I said, hey, this would be cool. So I went back to the driving range. This was about a month or 2 back. I think 8 lessons back. So I thought, fuck this. Why am I going to go to the old pattern of trying to see the ball and fuck up my entire balance by, which was the problem, because my head was tilted, the entire swing gets fucked. And if none of you are interested in golf, I'm sorry, this episode ended up being about my golf game. But if you are a golfer, then you know what I'm talking about. So I figured, let me relearn or unlearn my old swing and acquaint myself with the game of golf by learning to swing again without seeing. So, swing without seeing. That sounds like a great fucking swingers party. An orgy where everyone's blind. Swing without seeing. That's funny. So there's a lady called Nikki Panappa, who's a ex-professional golfer, who helped, who decided, who said, yeah, of course, I'll teach you how to swing and help you swing. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing to learn again, and how I can take away certain things like that. I realized my entire fucking posture was like hunched over. My chest was kind of like all cramped in. My neck was bent because, I don't know, it just became like that, settled in that way. But now I'm standing up straighter. My neck is not all the time sort of dropping. And that's one of the tips for the golf swing, but it's also helping me in life. So the lesson, motherfuckers, is I have to leave you with the lesson. The lesson is, you never know where you can learn things and apply life to a certain activity and activities to life, because there's no such thing as a work fucking life balance. Everything is life, and you end up doing things. You end up working. You end up doing exercising. You end up playing golf. You end up doing things. Everything's life. You don't need a balance. Just fucking enjoy doing things when you're doing it, and take things that you do and take things that you learn from those things you do into what you practice in life. And that could be everything. Like, it doesn't have to be, I am a golfer. None of that shit. I enjoy hitting those golf balls, and there's no end to it. Of course, the tournament is happening on the 21st of October. If you are, by the way, in Bangalore, or if you happen to be from another city and happen to be in Bangalore on those dates, the 21st of October at the Karnataka Golf Association, it's the really, really nice course in Bangalore. We're doing a tournament called the Purple Cup, which is basically golfers for disability inclusion. So that's where they're raising funds for a blind and deaf conference they're hosting. Enable India is hosting in February. But it's also the launch of Blind Golf India. And if you or anyone you know are visually impaired or blind, and you'd like to find out, because the tournament itself is not doesn't have visually impaired golfers this year, but the idea is to launch it, create the concept, spread the awareness, and hopefully by next year we will have visually impaired people, myself included, playing the tournament. But there is a clinic where people who are visually impaired will be on the range. Nikki Ponnappa will be helping them figure out how to swing the club, hit some balls. I'll be there. So if you want to meet me, if you want to say hello, you want to, if you're visually impaired, of course, you're welcome to join. You can write in to me at SoapyRao@gmail.com, SoapyRao@gmail.com, and let me know, hey, I'm Sundeep, you bitch, I'm interested. And I'll be like, bitch face, that's great. So let's meet. So just an announcement, if you're interested, do that. That'll be great. So that's where the golf thing was. It's really fun. And yesterday, last evening I went, it was pissing down like a diuretic on heat. And I went and hit some great balls. So what happens is, sometimes you watch YouTube videos. And this is very thing, as I've told you on other episodes, I've started learning the guitar, and you get carried away in this world of information, right? Similarly with golf, a lot of golf videos, and next thing you watch someone like a Bryson DeChambeau hit like a 400 monster drive. You're like, I want to do that, which is great inspiration. But then you realize, fucking within your limits, right? You're not going to train as hard as him. You're not as big as him. Maybe you are big, but maybe you have a different priority, which is just life, right? And he's a golfer. He's a professional golfer. So his life is right now, I don't know why, but his most of his time is taken up by the game of golf and activities to enhance that game. So he eats like that, he works out like that. He also is a beast of a person, and that's his focus. His whole activity right now is catering around the game of golf. But mine isn't. So if I go and try that, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to hit the golf ball badly because I don't have the sense of the swing right, which involves that much force to hit the ball. And secondly, I'm going to end up injuring myself really quick because I don't have... Like I hit the golf ball maybe 125, 140 balls, then go have beer. I don't go work out more. So clearly my lifestyle isn't for a professional golfer's game. But at the same time, I can figure out my own swing and figure out the best way to do that swing and enjoy hitting the ball. So I don't have any end goal of getting on the course right now, but I just love hitting those balls because you get timing on your side. You get a better understanding of your spatial awareness, how your posture, your body, and you don't have to see the ball because you just end up hitting. And the beauty is that when everything comes into place and falls into place, the ball just magically flies on its own. And that's how it felt yesterday. But then when things don't fall into place and you're overthinking your swing, like, okay, now I have to take back the club. Okay, is it going in its elliptical? I saw on YouTube that it has to come back in its elliptical. Do I have to make the flip on the wrist? Do I have to swing back the right arm to cock it and then let it release? And is my weight transfer going onto the back foot? Is it transferring enough? I watched the Rick Shields, I think, the video where it said, there's another guy who has a Scratch Golf, whatever channel, where basically 80% of the weight transfer has to be back on the left foot. When you're coming, like, fuck, when you're doing all that, the ball's just going to come back and hit you in the face, which happens a couple of times if you're really obnoxious as a golfer. But yeah, I've done some really bad shots, man. It was fucking hilarious. Like, not hilarious, but hilarious because no one got hurt. But I hit a pole, the ball came back behind me. So yeah, and things do happen like that. But I'm not here to give you advice on how to play golf, but you must try it if you have access to clubs and a golf course, which is important. Or you can do what I did when I was a kid, because I was introduced to the idea of golf when I was 9, I think, when we went to a holiday in Ooty and there was a golf club, and I was like, fucking, this is amazing. There's a lot of grass and there's a thing you hit a ball with. So when I was 8, I didn't have access to a golf club. So I took a hockey stick, some old hockey stick which was lying around at home, took a cork ball. Remember the cork balls we had? The balls made out of corks? Yeah, a lot of dicks out of the cork, the cork plant, whatever it was, cork. And I took an old condensed milk tin, dug it into the hole, made it a golf thing, and I used to play that. And I think there was an old aluminium pole, and I put like a little, remember that shiny paper? So I put a red flag on it, and I would do that, and I kept myself really entertained. Which I think is the benefit of not having excessive access to these video games as a young thing, because then you get innovative. There was a show back then called The Crystal Maze, where this guy called Richard O'Brien, I think, he would get these teams and you would have to go play all these activities from various genres. It would be the wild, they would have space or sci-fi and all these themes and these games. The idea was to get the crystal and they would have a maze, as the name suggests. So I built my own crystal maze with G.I. Joe paraphernalia, using Barbie dolls, which I would make for my sister. No, they're actually mine. And various other things. My mom's books. And I would make a maze, and you'd get the maze without touching the books. And then you get a crystal. And the crystal, you know where the fucking crystal came from? Our neighbors were building the house. And they had a massive chandelier, which was chandelier. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, speech impediment. A massive chandelier. That's what it like the song by Sia. And they were hoisting it. The entire thing smashed. It fell from 40 feet or 10 feet. Who the fuck cares? Details don't matter. Or they do matter, but maybe 20 feet. Let's compromise, bitch. Okay, 25 feet. That's 10 plus 40, 50, 25 feet. It fell smashed. And I had a bunch of crystals to play the crystal maze. That's a long story short. Actually, a long story, which is longer than it needed to be. Anyhow, sorry, my mouth's a bit dry today, so I'm like, blah, 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 blah. That's the rhythm I'm going with. But yeah. Long story short, I love playing, love being back on the driving range, hitting golf balls. Gives me a sense of doing something outside the house, and I feel good. I feel like my body's opening up, my swing is coming into play and falling into place. And all in all, it gives me something to talk about in the podcast as well. I didn't plan, actually. I was planning to talk about the Facebook leak. That little snitch, Francis, I forget her last name, Hogden, something like that. I don't know, Mark Zuckerberg's probably going, fucking A. One side the Pandora Papers, one side this girl, I took care of you, lady, and you snuck out papers. And then they say cheaters never prosper. I don't know. I will talk about that in the next episode. In the meanwhile, if you have any thoughts on that or anything you wanted me to talk about, do drop me a line at the SoapyRao Show's email ID, which is SoapyRao SoapyRao @gmail.com. Yes, that's right. You heard it right. I said at gmail.com. And yeah, you can say hello to me and you can interact with yours truly, with you, motherfucker, with me. Ouch. And yeah, but the golf thing, I will remind you, if you're interested, October 21st in the city of Bangalore at the Karnataka Golf Association is the Purple Cup. I'll be a part of it. Enable India is hosting it. A lot of people are participating, and you can be a part of the Blind Golf Clinic. That's happening on the same day. Drop in a line, and I will let you know all the details if you're interested, or if anyone you know is visually impaired and in the city, or wants to come down even. Fucking A, we're happy. I'm happy to say people from Delhi, people from Delhi especially are welcome. Not from anywhere in the country or the world. If you're happy to be like, fucking A, lockdown's over. I'm going to come from Siberia. Fucking A, great. If someone in Siberia is listening to this podcast right now, welcome, my friend. You are very much welcome to come to podcast, not to podcast, to the podcast as well. But you're very welcome to come to golf tournament and we will play. Then I've got a very good joke for my Russian friends, which I just came up with. My genius is on nose bounds. You will come from Russia and we will hit the ball and you will start putting, I will start putting, and we will go to from the drive we will go to the green, and if you know golf you get the joke. We will start putting and putting. Okay. On that note, I would like to thank you for listening to podcast. Very much appreciate your help and your patronage. And if you want to stay in touch with me, say hello on social media at SoapyRao. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye, God bless, and kiss your balls and kiss your mother's balls. Goodbye.